we'll have one error left because the door is open. There'll always be an error that's going to show on the screen when the door is open. So we won't be able to clear the blue light with the door open. At this point, we want to have the door open to do any adjustments. So, clear from the error screen. This is our main screen that displays all the positions and everything in the machine. We've got our controls for our feed, for auto feed for running, our speed, jog forward, jog backwards. We also have manual positioning. We can change the cutter head position manually up or down. The feed rolls and the cutter heads up and down at the same time, or just the feed rolls by themselves. And then we've got the 6 spindle start and stops. So normally if you're running the machine that's been set up, this would be setup mode. That's what somebody would use when they're setting up the heads and setting up positions and everything. Normal operation of the machine once it's set up would be to have it in auto mode. So this light turns off, we'll close the door. So this light is the door locked or unlocked light. Right now it's off. That means the door is locked. You can't open the door. In this position, you'll be able to start cutter heads when you press the blue button and reset it. If the blue button won't go, the blue light won't turn off, you can check errors. If there is a piece not pushed, it's going to show on the screen to let you know what the problem is. Reset that. You always have to have the blue light off. You're going to want to start cutter heads. And at this point, you can start heads. Add, start. That's going to show the feed speed. Stops will obviously stop everything. Checking to make sure that's true. And then if you want to open up the machine, clean it, or whatever the case might be, turn the key back, setup mode. There's a timer to make sure that all the cutter heads have come to a stop before the lock releases from the door. So wait till the white light comes on again, and you can open the door again.
Do you know what's the time on the timer?
12 seconds.
That's it?
It's got the VFD brakes. So it can do like stop detection with the VFDs. It knows they're stopped. And then of course you can open the door. If you wanted to change profiles, yeah. Everybody will want to know how to change the profiles to change over to different runs. So a few buttons at the bottom. The most important one is going to be the library. Here we can select what product we're going to run. You can see the list. Select product. Select download. And you can see the file name changes at the top. We go back into the screen and we see that this cutter head's no longer green. The green tells you that everything's in position. Essentially everything's ready to run. We can look at this head specifically and see that the width isn't set. So two things you can do is to select this individual move button and it'll move individual heads one at a time. where you can just select the automatic move. It's going to want to make sure there's no material in the machine. So it's going to ask you to make sure the machine's clear. Check mark. Then we can see the head's changing and moving into position when it's green. When it's green. Now everything's in its correct position. Then you can go back, auto mode, start your cutter heads, run the machine. Change over, same thing, pick a different profile, download the profile, make sure the name changes, exit that screen from the top corner button, same thing, this cutter head's yellow, confirm it's empty. That's it. If you're running the machine and a piece breaks or you need to clean out the machine or take a piece out of the machine, it has a quick open function. This button here. Press this button, it's going to ask you if it's okay to move it. Select yes. That's going to raise the feed rolls and the cutter heads. Open up the sides. And you can clean out the machine, blow it out. If you need to take anything out, you're going to lock it out first. If you're just blowing it out. I think to close, all you need to do is the same button that you use for the auto move. Confirm that it's now empty. Wait for everything to return to green. Put it back into auto mode. Start your heads. Start your feet. You need to have at least one head running for the feet to start. So make sure you have the right amount of heads running before you start the auto feed.
On all the models they all have the interlock on the sixth head, so you can start into why they don't do that. Because technically, if you just have one head, if you put wood in
Yeah.
it, it'll do a mess.
That's right. That's true. That's true. But some people only run some heads. We could probably set the programming so it has to have all six going.
I think they only use a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we start the head, you need to put in the
Yeah.
automatic.
Yes. In this mode, you can't start any cutter heads. The only mode you can start cutter heads in that you're typically going to use is auto mode. And that'll allow you to start the heads. Because this mode, the door is locked. Whereas this mode, the door is unlocked, so it won't let you start heads with the door unlocked. What other? It has a few other options you can run. It has a quick setting function where instead of having to change all the different parameters for the cutter heads in each position, you can just go into the quick setup, punch in your width and your thickness, and it's going to automatically change to whatever you selected. So if you wanted to do the same profile but in a 10-inch width, 10-inch. And it's automatically going to move to that position. And when it turns green, it'll tell you that it's in position. If you want to go back to the previous, select your profile again. Right. Download. That. Again, turns yellow, tells you its position. The machine does have a thickness gate at the beginning of the machine. So if you were running the machine, that turns red to let you know it's on. So the feed's on. If it stops feeding, the green light goes off. It doesn't give you any other errors. It's probably because that limit switch, piece of wood hit it. You just need to restart the feed again.
If you want to know if your width is not good, what do you do to calibrate it? That's what you
So if it says 5 inches but your width is not 5 inches.
Yeah.
So for example, to use the top head, the last top head. Right now it's at 760. If your piece coming out of the machine was actually 750. So there's a settings page. And it's going to ask you to enter what the actual dimension that you're getting out of the machine is. So you enter that number. And it's going to change that to be the size that you entered. But once you've done that, this head's going to turn yellow because now it's not in position. So you just hit move and auto position. Okay, so we'll do it.
Click on
This
the
button. 0.750, for example. Enter. Now it's yellow because it's out of position. Oh, that's a button.
Every time you change the size, you need to put
That's right. Yeah.
to add it,
divider and the
go where it should be.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is they call it the auto move button, because it'll move everything automatically to the size that you selected.
When you do make adjustment, you always have to be on the left side of the key.
Yeah, that's right. It has to be in setup mode to be able to adjust the cutter head positions. Then, yeah.
You adjust it here, do the number, and then go back.
Yeah, there's two different adjustments, right? You've got your actual, you just want to change the thickness. So you would just change the set value.
Okay.
The PV is the position that it's in now.
Actual position.
The set value is where you want it to be. So if I wanted it to be at 1 inch, and
You want
then
to switch the
calibration.
calibration, you go here.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And you guys use bed lube when you're running the machines? You guys use bed lube in the machines?
Alright.
You put on the bed?
C'est quoi la marque dans le... Sticks from Backer. Orange orange 45 gallon.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you use that in all the machines?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when we receive it from Acker, I think we could check it. There's one over there.
So for the adjustment for the bed lube, there's a switch on the pump itself. Turn it off and on. This button, the blue button, this one that looks like oil. This is where you can change the duration of how much it ejects and how often it does it.
Okay.
This button would test prime. So right now we have the pump off. If you don't want the pump to be running when you're running production, just turn the switch off. If you want to use the bed lube, use the red switch on, and it'll automatically turn on when you turn the feed on. Right now we have, it waits 1 minute and then dispenses for 3 seconds. So this is where you can change the quantities of the time. So again, go to main screen, settings, switch.
The setting in the green square. The setting pink. Go back.
Yeah, that's right. If we go back, let's load another profile. So the download button is going to load your profile. So whenever you change, select download, go back, and check the top bar, make sure it's the right program that you want to load. And then press it.
Ito pa nangalay. Nangalay na. Lukat sa cellphone.
Download pala automatic na connect na sa computer.
Ano na? Ang papalitan mo na lang yung head. Yung head na lang papalitan mo. Tapos doon mo na lang siya.
Diyan rin po yung mag-adjust. Hindi na
Oo, hindi na din. Hindi to mag-adjust. Halimbawa kung mag-benton ka, o di kaya albani.
But all you teaching us right now is probably in the book of the machine too.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
So everything's green in back position. Some of the other modes. This is a manual mode. Notice the door unlock light is on. You can start cutter heads with the door closed. Once you have the cutter heads running, you can jog forward. You can't jog reverse. Feed rules can go down but not up. And then once the heads are running, you can also open this door if you want to do adjustments. Once that's done, blue light goes on. Before you turn it to auto mode, you have to press clear the blue light, switch to auto mode. Just wait for the timer for a second here. So you can start a cutter head.
You want to turn light of red. Okay.
That's right. And it also displays the RPM. So you can open the door and you can still jog forward, jog a piece into the machine. When you close the door,
Rouge à vie. Quand il est vert, elle est prête à virer. Quand elle est rouge à vie. Quand elle est jaune, elle est possédée.
if you don't press the blue button to clear the light, you switch to auto mode, it's going to shut everything off. So make sure you press the blue button first before turning it to auto mode.
And the tank of the oil says to move air before filling.
Yeah.
The other ones, they fill it up while running, so that one you can't?
No, because the other ones are electric pumps. This is an air pump. So you need to have that quick release coupling on here. The one that was on it.
Ouais, il est encore dessous. It should be it's still on it. Should be at the end.
November.
Maybe normal.
Wala na pong gagalawin doon, di ko na.
Depende pa.
Kasi bababa mo yung head. Pwede mo. Hindi, yung malilito na ito. Yung adjust niya, yung para sa mga nila. Hindi mo. Itatanong nga natin kung pwede mo. Kita nga dito. Gusto ko magaling yung settings lang yan. Yung mga mamaya itanong natin. Kasi dito, kung 760 lang, manual change ng aircraft sa kakagawa. Yun nga, manual. Hindi ka pwede mag-fitness sa manual. Dito kung nagagasin mo, abay ko rin yung gusto eh, ma. Paano ka kung halimbawa makatay yung hindi magpapatay. Hindi.
If we will allow you This side.
Kanin mo na
That's
po.
the-
Ang pindot niya, mamaya mo ulit.
Then the
May gumagalaw ng machine.
Oo, ano ba na?
But I don't understand how it works.
Tagalog.